Hey everybody, Dante White from Oppuous here with my good friend Jason Lambert from AppDirect. As we all know, Oppuous partners with a couple of large companies to help bring more simplified solutions to each one of our clients, AppDirect being one of them. We've got a nationwide network of cloud specialists and engineers, and Jason's my main man on the Envision Session. What's an Envision Session? An Envision Session is a way for you to optimize your environment. We usually start with Microsoft or Google Workspace, right? Because that is the fundamental of where everything starts. And then we do a deeper dive and we really help you simplify everything that you're doing from a software perspective, from a cost perspective, from an optimization of organization perspective and operational functions. So I'm going to hand it off to Jason so he can give you a little bit of background on who AppDirect is, how we go to market, and talk a little bit more about the Envision Session because they're really, really exciting for our clients, saving them a ton of money. All right, go ahead, Jason, tell us a little bit more about yourself and about AppDirect and how we do this.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Dante. So
Yeah.
Jason Lambert, I'm a cloud solutions executive over here at AppDirect. I've been in the IT channel for most of my career. I've spent the last 10 years around cloud, and I certainly focus a lot of my time on infrastructure services. So, Microsoft Azure and some of those other providers. So our Envision sessions are really an opportunity for you. You're trying to figure out, where do I start? Microsoft's a behemoth, and a lot of people will certainly start with 365, and that's like, we call it the gateway drug because it's super easy. You get signed up, you move your email out there, and away you go. And then you might start scratching your head a little bit and think, what's next? Like, where do I go from here? Like, I really don't know where to start. And that's a great opportunity for you to reach out to Dante and say, hey, I really like to get set up with one of those Envision sessions that I saw in the video. We can jump in real quick. We've got 4 different categories. So if you're looking at Microsoft Teams, there's a lot of organizations that have Teams as part of their Microsoft licensing, but they haven't really figured out, outside of chat and maybe some messages or channels, haven't really figured out what Teams can do. And so we've broken these Envision sessions into 3 categories. We don't want to boil the ocean and go through tons of slides, but we certainly want to be able to have talking points. So from a productivity perspective, how are you using Teams? From a collaboration perspective, are you using Teams? If you have a phone system in-house, have you considered the fact that Microsoft Teams has a whole telephony backbone where you can do, your IVR and attendance and ring groups and all those different pieces? And it could be an optimum way of being able to consolidate all the different things you do out in your business around what Microsoft has to offer. And I can tell you, Microsoft's growing still like crazy, and the functionality that they're bringing to their technology is just outstanding. And it's kind of a good segue into security. If you looked at Microsoft and you may be watching this video thinking, geez, Microsoft security, I wouldn't touch that with the 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so
yeah,
I
we
would
get
tell
that a
you,
lot.
I bet you do. And so in the last couple of years, Microsoft, Satya Nadella has said, we're investing billions of dollars. And so now Microsoft, if you look through Gartner Magic Quadrant, Microsoft's hitting 9 different quadrants around security, and they're running with the big boys. So I would encourage you, device and app management, threat protection, those are things we'd really want you to explore and be dynamic in the process of, reviewing and being in front of your security footprint. I should stop. I feel like I'm taking the floor here, Dante. I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'll just add a couple of bullet points, right? So a lot of my clients come into me and Teams is a big part of it, collaboration, right? And so they're always asking for, how can I internally communicate with my clients more, or my staff more? How can I communicate externally as well, right? The communication is the lifeblood of any organization, and Teams really does that. So it's more than just the videos like we're on today. It's more than just internal messaging, but you're right, it does have that telephony piece. There's also some other UCaaS providers that integrate seamlessly with it, 8x8, Ring Central, to name two of them, that have a really great integration. So if you already have a phone system, or if you're looking at a UCaaS system, there's a really great way to streamline a lot of what you're doing, right? And we do that day in and day out at Oppuous. The other part I want to touch on with the security, right? Because that is a massive thing. Like Jason and I have really gone back and forth with the security portion as of late, right? Because it's a huge thing that's happening to people since the inception of the internet, right? As soon as you invite people to communicate back and forth, cybersecurity became a very important and integral part of business. However, during COVID, it exploded, right? We had lots of people with endpoints, right? You sent all your people home. They're using their cellular phones. They're using their laptops. They're on this Wi-Fi connection at McDonald's. They're over here, living van life, traveling around. So there's not really safe connections, things like that. And so that's why Microsoft really did double down on that investment in security, right? And so Jason mentioned the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Now, so for most of my clients, they know what Gartner is because they're enterprise grade clients. They that this is one of the most serious vetting solutions out there for anything. But for the people that are watching today that don't know what Gartner is, it's kind of the end all be all, right? If you land yourself on the Gartner quadrant anywhere, you know that you're doing it right. And as Jason said, they are on there in 9 different spots. So that is really a testament to how much they've invested into the security portion. And it's a really great conversation to have, right? You're never as safe as you think you are. So I always implore people, hey, spend an hour with Jason and I and the team. We'll sit down, we'll talk a little bit about, maybe we'll talk about Teams, maybe we'll talk about security, maybe we'll go into the next portion that Jason's going to talk about, the explore portion, right? So I'll hand it back to you so you can talk about that function, and then we'll wrap it up and talking a little bit more how Oppuous and AppDirect go to market on SaaS and licensing.
Yeah, it's great. So if you look at Microsoft Azure, so a lot of people are intimidated by Azure. To some degree, it can sound expensive, especially if you take, and I've had a lot over the years, a lot of people, advisors will come up and say, hey, here's my customer hardware list, servers, etc. Right? And if you give me those specifications and we do an Azure estimate on that, I would say 98% of the time they're coming back and customers are going like, why do I go into Azure? I could I could amortize this over a number of years and just do a lease. What I would encourage you to do is do an assessment. We could talk about all this on the Envision session, but we do an assessment. From the assessment, we see what's right-sized on your environment, or we offer solutions on how to right-size some of that workload. And then on the outside or the back end of the assessment, we get a report, and that report will let us know what those virtual or what the workloads, it's all really about the workload. It's what the workload would look like running in Azure. And then once we get down to the nitty-gritty there, then 90% of the time the customer's pretty happy with the outcome around Azure workloads. But maybe you just want to get into virtual desktops, or maybe you just need you want to get started and you want to run Azure backup and DR. Backup and DR may be well deployed within the organization or maybe not. So those are the things that we can talk to and see if there's an opportunity to provide additional success. Yep, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I see tons of savings there, right? Disaster and recovery, people already have solutions and they don't realize that they can be using Azure for it. They already have Microsoft within their scope and in their stack. And so it's a great way because now everything just already in the family, already communicating. Was the only thing I was going to add there. So thanks.
Yeah, no, that's great. Actually, I just really want to quickly jump back into security a little bit. One other thing came to mind was there's an opportunity sometimes where you're paying for Microsoft licensing. It's already in your budget and you're not taking advantage of the security suite or the products in the security suite that Microsoft has. And if you did, there may also be an opportunity to dislodge some of the other vendors that are doing a similar service. So I want to, and we talk about all this in the Envision session. It's just a great opportunity. You may not necessarily save a lot of money on the initial licensing, but when you think, oh, I can get rid of, service A, service B, service C, because all this is taken care of by Microsoft now, and I can count on them to deliver, then it adds value to the bottom line.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, from a real world perspective, right? So a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, Jason and I sat down with one of my clients, and we were able to save them $2,000 a month on their spend. They were looking at a couple of different tools that are outside of the force. They already had O365 environment. They were already leveraging Teams to a small degree. And just by making a couple of minor tweaks and sitting down with them for an hour, we uncovered the fact that they were double spending on several different solutions that were already in the bundle they didn't realize were available to them. So I always say, you don't know what you don't know. I would spend an hour of my time if it meant I was going to save $2,000 a month. And they're a small organization. They're only 12 people. If you're an organization of 50 people, 100, thousands, right, that we deal with, look at that and what that savings could be. They saved, $24,000 a year. That's an entry level, assistant position. That is, a new outlay of some different software tools. That's a whole marketing suite that you could reinvest that money into. There's lots of different ways that you could use $24,000 plus to help simplify and streamline the things that you're already doing. And that's why we love to do this. We love doing the Envision sessions because as I told Jason one time, I was like, I feel like it's like a nerdy Christmas to me every single time I get on these. And he loves when I say, because that's what it feels like. It's like, oh, what's inside this? Boom, we open it up and it's like a whole different solution that they didn't know existed, a whole new cost savings, a new way to streamline. And so I get excited every time because every time I get on one of these calls, I learn something new, right? Because there's never enough knowledge out there. Everybody's using their environment different. Everybody's factors are different and their verticals different. And so it's really worth the time to sit down with us. I think it's definitely worth it. So I'll hand it back to you, Jason. So thanks for letting me jump in there.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to unpack, and I hope this resonates with you as you're watching this video. The last Envision session is what we call our SaaS and licensing session. And we've heard a lot of feedback from customers like you that there's a lot of investment around SaaS. SaaS is a great solution. Software as a service, great solution to help your business be more functional. And what we've identified is different departments, different teams can actually go out and they got expenses, so they swipe in for personal storage solution A. I want to stay away from vendor names per se, and then another team, maybe that's marketing does that session, and production goes out and says, oh well, we need this as well, so we go out to vendor B, not knowing that the other team has done it. So what we do is we've got a tool, technology that can go across the entire environment and actually give us reports of how many different SaaS solutions out there that you have within your environment. If you've got literally, I would say, between 300 and 1,000 people, I bet you're dealing with dozens and dozens of different SaaS solutions, not even realizing that they're going. The back office is paying for them. The company's managing these relationships. But when we can actually expose them to you, you get an idea of what's there. Maybe we can optimize, maybe we can consolidate those two different vendors and find a better solution with one of them, and maybe some cost savings around that. And then here's where the value of AppDirect really comes into play. We have over 600 different software as a solution vendors within our marketplace. So if you have, Box, Dropbox, we talked about 8x8 or Ring Central, all those vendors, I believe, are in our marketplace.
Yep.
And so if you consolidate your relationships with all those vendors through AppDirect, the neat thing happens, you get one invoice. So you may have 20 different, 30 different vendor relationships. We're going to send you one invoice for all of them. And so that really helps eliminate some of the back office stress within your organization around accounts payable, and still helps you continue to keep that productivity out there. And then the last thing that's really cool is we have like employee lifecycle management is what I like to call it. So you can connect your Active Directory to our platform, and then be able to, if you hire somebody, we'll deploy licenses for them. If somebody leaves the organization, cancel licenses. This is all done automatically. So you remove human error out of those transitions. And I think that is some really, really great value.
Yeah, I talk about
customers.
the marketplace. I talk about the marketplace all the time, right? And so to give a real world example, and you don't even have to be a 300 person plus your organization to see the value in it. I talked to a single person entrepreneur and explained the marketplace, and they were like, I wish I'd known about this, because they had bought Adobe licensing once, and then they forgot that they bought it and bought it again. So they were double paying for the same thing that they have it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just like that. I could do that easily. Right.
Yeah.
Anybody could. But if you're a large organization, you have a certain threshold, let's call it $2,000. Anything below, you can just purchase it. Right. And so you end up marketing bought Adobe over here. Finance also bought something that was similar. Right. And you're double paying on it. It happens all the time. So with the marketplace, you can give people certain types of credentials where they can view it. And then they just say, hey, Jason, I want this. And you're like, well, we already have it. So let me just spin you up an additional license. Or sounds great. A couple of people have been asking about something similar. So what it does is it simplifies just the cost perspective straight out of the gate, right? And we can take softwares and SaaS licenses that you already have and consolidate them on the marketplace in most cases too. So you don't even have to just see what you buy there. You can take existing stuff and put there. You get to maintain those relationships that you have with those vendors, right? Because a lot of people are about the relationship, and I am too, right? It's really important to maintain it. You'll still have, your relationship with Microsoft or Zoom or whatever, right? But what this does is we give you tier 1 support. We give you the ability to see all your licenses in one place and manage it, give the ability to actually see utilization, right? So you can say, I have 300 licenses and only 250 of them are being used. Well, let's get rid of that, right? And the lifecycle management is part of that, right? So now we've got the ability, when people are coming in, Dante's in marketing, I click that button and I get all the licensing I need as the new person in marketing, right? And I get a single pane of glass, a single sign on to go on, and there's every single thing that I need to use. I don't have to go over here and go over there and figure out what that password is and this password. It simplifies the user's experience as well, right? It's all about time management, cost management. At the end, it's all about efficiency, right? And that's what we bring together in the partnership and what we're doing, and why I get so excited about this, because this is a new way for you to really optimize your business for things that you're already doing, right?
Right.
And figure out things that you don't know you're not doing right. That's where we come in. We help you, advise you with all of our engineers, all our cloud specialists at your fingertips. You don't have to hire a whole team to do that. It's just a value add that we give to you. It's a partnership that we believe in the relationship. So it's a really powerful tool that we love to explore.
I want to bring it to the next slide. There you go. So I think it's good that we talk to, what's in it for the customer, for you. So this is a free opportunity for you to get some consulting and understand how these services can work for you. We're here to solve your business needs around Microsoft specifically. Over time, I'm understanding we're going to have some 80 different Envision sessions all across different vendor strategies within our organization. So you can ask Dante about them as we grow. It's simplifying your go-to-market and how you manage your business. And we're going to give you if, let's say on the outside of this, you're like, let's do an assessment. We'll probably have a statement of work pretty much ready. May have to change it, tweak it a little bit for your organization, but we can get that to you rather quickly. And then I think, we got our little Dante guy down at the bottom asking you lots of questions, open-ended questions to learn more about your business. And Dante, I think I'll leave it with you as to, how to get going.
Yeah. So 3 simple steps, right? So when you're ready to book your Envision session, go to the link below or above, depending on what platform you're watching this on, right? And go to oppuous.com/envision, book your session. It's as easy as that. Jason and I, maybe another member of the team, depending on what platform that we're looking at for it, right? We'll spend an hour of our time with you, like we said. We'll do a really great deep dive with you, make you understand what's going on in your environment, what you're doing today, what you're trying to do tomorrow, what you have today, what you're trying to have tomorrow, and build a really, really strong solution for you to move forward in the best way possible. And that's really what it's about. It's about efficiency. It's about agility, right? You're already doing well as a business owner, but what if you could do better? That's what it's always about, right? There's always that time that you can take to make yourself that much more better and that much more efficient. So I want to thank everybody for watching today. I want to thank Jason for all the time that he spent, educating us on the Envision, all the time that we spent already with the clients that we've talked to as well. I see super value in all of this stuff. All of my clients, I've never had somebody leave and be like, wow, that was a waste of time. It's not happened one time. It's like I said, it's like a nerd Christmas. It's so great every single time. It's amazing to be on these things. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them below in the comment section. Go ahead and book your schedule today. We're looking forward to seeing you. Have a great day, everybody. All right.
Bye.